Inflation is absolutely crushing people right now. You're probably feeling it in your pocketbook every single day between the cost of fuel, cost of food, cost of living, cost of housing. Everything is pinching every penny right now. The cost of living in Portland, Oregon comes in at 10% above the average cost for the state of Oregon and 23% above the cost of living average for the entire United States. So it's no wonder if you're living in Portland right now and you're wondering, gosh, where do I have to go to find a better quality of life and maybe even a little better cost of living? And do I need to leave the state of Oregon to do that? Let's take a look at the cost of living in Canby, Oregon, a suburb of Portland, about 20-25 miles southeast of town, and let's see what it costs to live here. And you can decide for yourself if it's worth the difference. So first of all, let's start this conversation thinking that you're going to be buying a house in wherever it is that you're moving to. So what does it cost to buy a home in Canby, Oregon today? Right now, the median home price in Canby is coming in at $650,000. That is according to Altos Research, who releases data every single week about the housing market in cities like Canby. Note that median price point means that that's the middle price point. Half are coming in higher and half are coming in lower than that price. So what can you buy in Canby, Oregon? Because again, not everything is $650,000. We're just using that as a baseline. So let's take a look, and as you can see, there's a lot of different options available to purchase in Canby from various price points, anywhere from a townhome, a single family home, if you want something that's existing construction, or even something that is newly built. There's a lot of options here in Canby for you to choose from, and you can decide out of these options which might be something that makes the most sense for you in your life. So now that you've seen the houses in Canby and what they're selling for, what does a mortgage payment look like for one of these houses? Let's go to a simple Google mortgage calculator for the information on what you can expect to find. And these are all numbers that you can run yourself for any home price that you find here in Canby, but based on this $650,000 house in Canby with a down payment of about 10% and looking at an average property tax here in the city for about $5,500, that's going to put you at just over $5,100 per month on a mortgage payment for a house that is $650,000. I want you to tell me if you think that's affordable in the comments. Not ready to buy a house in Canby yet? That's okay. What does it look like to actually rent a house here in Canby? Maybe you want to take your time, get a feel for the community before you settle on a neighborhood or even spending the money to buy a house right now. The median rent in Canby, according to Altos Research, is coming in at over $3,100 a month. So what does that get you for a rental property in Canby? Well, let's take a look at apartments.com. We've checked all the options between condos, townhomes, single-family homes, apartments to see what is available on this website. Of course, it's not including everything that's out there, but as you can see, there are some options and they range in price. And we know an important aspect of our cost of living equation comes down to food, our grocery budget. What does it look like to buy groceries here in Canby? So let's go straight to the source and let's look at Fred Meyer, a local grocery chain that's consistent. Everybody knows what it is. And let's see what it's going to cost for a typical family of 4 to buy around $200 or less worth of groceries in a week's time. Planning a few meals, some lunchbox items, some snacks, and some treats, because treats are always an important part of our life, right? So here we have a look. We've got various things, taco night, a spaghetti night, maybe one night we're going to do some hamburgers. We've got salads, vegetables, some fixings, some sides, some other things like that to go along with these meals. And for all of that, it's between $175, $176, coming in under $200. And looking at this, perhaps it's going to give you an idea or a feel of what you may individually buy for your family, and if this is a good starting point for you. But I want to know what you think. According to what you're used to paying for grocery stores in your area, maybe if you live in Portland, is this about average? Is this better or worse than what you're used to buying? Another factor in our cost of living equation is our utility costs. Everybody needs electricity, everybody needs heat and cooling. So what is it going to cost for you to have those things in Canby on a monthly basis? Well, it really comes down to the providers. Here in Canby, our utility provider for electrical and water is Canby Utility. So On a monthly basis, your electrical costs could vary, and it all really is based on what type of appliances you have in the home and what your usage is like, and even the season, of course. So if you live in a home where everything you own in there is electric, including your furnace, then your electrical bill is going to be higher than any of the estimations that are provided today. Water is also billed through Canby Utility, and this price every month is really going to vary based on the size of your family and if you use water during certain seasons to water your yard. So let's assume that, like a lot of houses in town, on an average, you might have a combination of natural gas and electrical appliances in your home. Perhaps you have a natural gas furnace, you might have a gas cooktop or a gas oven, or even a gas water heater, in addition to the other electrical appliances that you might have. So your utility bill between water and electricity with Canby Utility, again, it could vary depending on the size of your household and your individual usage, could be anywhere seasonally between $80 and $200 per month. And when it comes down to Northwest Natural, again, depending on the usage and how big your family is and the season, it could really vary between about $45 up to $200 per month. And third, in Canby, we do have an additional utility bill that every resident in town pays, and that is the sewer and street maintenance fee. And generally that's around $45 to $50 per month. Let's talk about internet. Of course, that is an important piece of everybody's lifestyle these days, whether you work from home or use it primarily for entertainment or maybe a combination of both. You need to know that in Canby, we have two different providers that offer internet service here in town. We don't have Comcast or Xfinity, but we do have is Astound Broadband and Direct Link. Direct Link is a local co-op that really only serves two particular cities in the area, Canby and Mount Angel. Now, depending on who you call, there's obviously charges and setup fees between each of them, but when you sign up, you may find that they're offering some specials for those subscriptions. Maybe a month free for the first month or whatever you can negotiate at that time. So whether it's Astound or Direct Link, you'll find that the prices will vary anywhere from $50 a month for the most basic internet service all the way up to $110 per month for the higher internet speeds. Let's talk about commute times, because time is money, right? So depending on where you work or where you might need to get to during the week, Canby is fairly connected to a lot of areas that you'll need to go to. Wilsonville, for example, is the nearest town that has a Costco and a Target. Those are two pretty important things. You'll find that most times of the day, it's between 15 and 20 minutes